Hey guys. Yeah, we're starting a bit early. So Alpin's running his new mission in like 6 hours, 7 hours. I don't even fucking know. Time zones are a bitch. So hopefully I'll still be awake for that. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get up early for it. My sleep cycle's fucked anyway. So we're back in the usual situation where I'm kind of 12 hours out of phase with everything else, so I figured I might as well start early. I can't get back to sleep, but also I'm kind of bored, so we'll do some DCS. Now I must warn you, I'm pretty tilted because I was playing on Enigma server earlier. So Blue have taken to PvE gaming again because they apparently are struggling to actually win when there's people online. So around afternoon my time, which is when I typically do play on Enigma server because that's when Alpin's is empty and I've got nothing better to do, I jump on and find that Blue outnumber Red by anything between 2-1 to, as it was the other day, 5-1 with a human crewed Tomcat and a GCI. And this has been happening consistently for the past several days, so I'm kind of at the point where I'm starting to wonder whether it's even worth playing Enigma server in the afternoon my time, because I just know it's going to be a massive fucking Blue stack. Yeah, I was not very happy earlier. It did not go well at all, and I ended up losing a MiG-29 to a friendly R3R from somebody that should have known better, who I won't name, to protect their dignity, but I'm not sure what he did. He may have tried to do the Boresight meme thing and grab me instead, but long story short, I went to try and rescue him from a very angry F-86, and yeah, he ended up taking me out and then like immediately disconnected out of shame, I guess. So the F-86 technically got 2 kills off that. But yeah, 5-1, it was pretty bad yesterday. It was pretty bad. Like, usually I'll get on Discord and I'll like, bat phone people in, I'll spam frog siren emotes and be like, holy fuck, the PvEers are on, quick everybody. And usually by then we've lost a couple sectors because there's just nobody defending them, but within, you know, an hour or two of me putting out the bat signal, Red then outnumbers Blue, and then the Reds decide that they feel bad for having a team stack, so they all leave. It's like, no guys, no. Like, Blue just gained 5 sectors off the back of a massive team stack. Stay on until we get the 5 sectors back, and then you can have a conscience. I don't know, like, I play both teams on Enigmas. I would actually like to play Blue more, it's just that they're stacked so often that I don't really get the opportunity. Like, it took me about a week before I got a chance to get in the F-14 without, like, just leaning into a shitty stack. And even then, it didn't go too well, so... It's not so much that I'm invested in which team wins, although you all know I like seeing Red upset the Blues. It's more so that it just fucking pisses me off seeing the way it's done. You know, if one team's really stacked, like for a while Red had a pretty big stack going in the low pop hours, so I would hop on Blue and try and counteract that with the A10. Well, I don't need to anymore because Blue are now the ones stacking. It's a cycle, it goes back and forth, but it's annoying all the same. Hey 3Shy, what's going on? We're just about to jump back into Enigma server and hopefully it'll go better than it did earlier. I'm still dealing with my homicidal Warthog. The Constellation hasn't shipped yet. Still on back order. I don't know when it'll get here. Hopefully soon, because this thing's doing my head in. In the meantime, I've discovered that it's worse the harder I press nose down trim, so I've just got to use some finesse when I nose down trim now and hope for the best. Yeah, I ended up getting the Constellation just because I don't have like proper mounts, and you really can't run a T50 on the desktop. And getting mounts would just mean more money, more space taken up. I live in a tiny flat, like there's not enough space for a proper sim setup in here. And I can't afford it, and my desk isn't really suited to desk mounts anyway. Like, I've got drawers that need to pull out and shit. So I went with the Constellation. I was going to get the VKB MCG Ultimate, but the Australian storefront for VKB is pretty shit-awful, to be honest. Like, if they had more options on their Australian storefront, I probably would have bought one, but they don't. It was really lacking, and I couldn't buy from the North American storefront and have them ship it out for whatever reason. Like, I really don't understand their whole system they've got going on with the different storefronts for different regions. But I don't like it. I would prefer if they just sent from one centralized location like Purple does. Can you use it with your Warthog base? No. There was a discount on bases, and I kind of have a bunch of complaints with the Warthog base anyway, so no. I got a Warbird base, so I'll roll those two together. I will attempt to clean off my Warthog to what extent I can, and then probably just give it to somebody in the Discord that either needs a HOTAS or is looking for a project that they can fix up, because it does need fixing up. That fucking sensor needs replacing. Same with the throttle, so... Yeah, no, it's like my setup's not ideal for mounts. My ideal flight sim setup involves a floor-mounted center stick with like an 80cm extension. But realistically, like, I would need to live in a bigger place for that, and I would need to have like a lot more money to really do that, because I don't even know if this chair would really work for it. I'd have to get one of those bent extensions that goes around it, because I don't want to replace this chair when I just got it. But I also don't want to try and DIY myself a cutout in the cushion. Just catch up on chat a bit and then we'll get in game. There's an air show today. Would have been performing if not for the flight model change and one of our members getting into an accident, but shit happens and hopefully we'll be there at another one. Oh, it sucks to hear it, man. Yeah, those flight model changes, you know, for us fucking PvP cowboys, it's kind of annoying when we have to relearn the aircraft's performance. But for you guys, that's like a serious thing. It doesn't even have to be a big change either. Like, the smallest thing could fuck up an entire routine, I would imagine. What's your opinion for flying with VR? You would have to ask someone else. I have never used VR in DCS. Look, put it this way, the VR guys, a lot of them swear off ever flying on a flat screen again after they use VR, but I also see the exact same people non-stop fucking complaining about things not rendering in both eye ports, or the game not being optimized for it so it runs like shit, or they have to run it on like PS2 graphics to get it to work. They can't identify aircraft because everything fucking like distorts in VR. Like, it sounds like it's very much a trade-off. There's no one right answer. Only play red, and most times I check servers blue stacked. I know I make it worse, but don't want to fly when blue are rolling every time. Yeah, it's just no fun being on it. Like, it's not bad when you've got a target-rich environment, like a 1.5 to 1 kind of proportion, or 3 to 2, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of close to ideal. It's not ideal, but it's close to it. Being on the stacked team is no fun, because you're squabbling with your team for like 3 people to kill. But also being on the receiving end of a Doom stack is no fun either, because you just can't get shit done. Hey, Red Sea. Yeah, Evil, that's right. Like, not just on Enigmas, but Alpin's server too. Like, a lot of the core Red players are AWOL at the moment. Zach's busy with school. I think he's doing his finals. Kirk, I haven't seen for like almost a year at this point. A lot of Reds regulars are on extended breaks or just busy with real life. Or they're, you know, expanding their horizons and playing other stuff. Now, hopefully the game runs okay today. I have had performance issues while streaming on Enigma's server, but it runs fine when I'm not streaming, so honestly, who fucking knows? We'll see how it goes. Hello. Looks like the webcam's actually set up properly today, which is always good. Okay. And my frames are already in the tank. Excellent. Love it. I don't know why it's like this. If I minimize OBS so it's not rendering twice... Nope, that makes absolutely zero difference. Well, we'll see how it goes, but it might force me to find something else to do, because it kind of gives me the shits when it runs badly. really leave that until I've got the engine spooling. It's funny, one of the, like when the server first went up and Blue lost like 3 campaigns in a row or whatever it was, one of their biggest complaints was that apparently Red had like this army of hinds that would appear as soon as it was 1 AM in the American time zones, and they just wipe everything. Well, you know, now look. This goes back and forth, it's fucking endless. Like, if you thought the balance policing on Alpin's server and the forum thread was bad, it's 10 times worse here. It's kind of grinding the nerves down a bit. Which is a shame, because the server is usually pretty fun. And, like, a lot of the quick ways to fix it, like, for instance, getting rid of the A9P5, the A9P, and the R60s, and going back to old-school missiles like Alpin's server was for a while, that would be really cool, and I would enjoy the shit out of it. The problem is a lot of people would complain now that their easy mode missiles are gone on both teams, but particularly I think on Blue. And then as well, you've got the kind of looming issue of what to do with the MiG-29 and the F-14, because in that kind of weapon set, those things are going to just run roughshod over everyone else, or they're going to have no missiles, because even their worst missiles are, you know, ridiculous in that situation, so... I don't know, it's a complicated issue. And it's kind of hard to patch it up now that people are kind of established in their playstyle, and established themselves, like, a sense of what the server's kind of baseline is. It is interesting how noticeably and how severely streaming this degrades the performance. I'm actually curious. Give me a second here, guys. Let's see what I'm encoding on. What am I encoding on? I'm encoding on software at the moment, but if I jump to NVEnc, I'd have to restart the stream anyway. If I jump to NVEnc, I think I'd have issues anyway, because I was on NVEnc before and it was causing all kinds of problems, especially hopping between DCS and MizFizz. I might have to play with it, not this stream, maybe next stream. We'll try it on NVEnc, and if that boosts performance on Enigma server, I might stick with that for a while, and we'll try it between here and between MizFizz to just see which offers the least frustration, because they're both going to cause frustration, I think. Solution is to have more planes and weapons that span across more eras? Yeah, if only. If fucking only. And more actual, you know, contemporary variants of things instead of the most up-to-date, most modern fucking revision of it from 2005. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, oh, but we need the F-16 in here, it's a Cold War plane. Or, oh, but the Harrier is a Cold War plane, it came out in the 80s. Like, not the version we have. I'd do filthy things for an F-16A, dude. With the shitty little fucking crotch radar. Or shit radar in general. No BVR. Just AIM-9Ls in a dream. And a couple thousand pounds of bombs. Yeah, almost, Kang. Almost. Fucking almost. Well, the interesting thing is, I learnt this from Saber, what, last stream before? The early F-16As were actually a bit different than the later ones. Sorry, I'm fidgeting around here. They had slightly smaller tail surfaces, which affected how they flew, noticeably. Jesus Christ, where the fuck? I've moved my rudder pedals to get at my PC case, and now they're all, like, my whole seating position's out of whack. This is gonna piss me off for the rest of the day, I think. Need the weight on the wings to be able to pull a G. Yeah, flutter issues. Which is why they typically mount the AIM-120s on the tip rails instead of AIM-9s, is because the flutter issues are still a thing, just a bit less of a thing, I think. It's been partially but not fully resolved. Hey, seriously? Nobody on comms. Imagine my shock. Overlord, Circus 1-4, set tripwire 15.
Circus 1-4, Overlord, copy, 15 kilometers.
Oh no, not this again. I've had issues over the past couple days where SRS stutters, and it's really bad with Overlord to the point where it's not like I can't understand it. It's got me killed multiple times.
Overlord, copy, warning 15 kilometers.
So hopefully we're not going to have that issue for the rest of the fucking day, or I'm going to be really annoyed. Whoa, that was a nasty bump. It's funny, I've seen a bunch of people in Enigma's Discord freaking out that they can't get the clean canopy mod to work. It's like, you don't need it anymore, my dudes. The default canopy is fucking spotless. I wish it wasn't.
Grease 1-1, Overlord, Bra, 220, 27, 700, drag south, Tiger 2.
Overlord, Gargoyle 1-1, set warning 15.
Gargoyle 1-1, Overlord, copy, warning 15 kilometers.
Overlord, Joker 1-1, Bogeydoke.
Joker 1-1, Overlord, Bra, 269, 88, 500, drag west, Tiger 2.
Yeah, that would be nice. Be very nice.
Overlord, Grease 1-1, Bogeydoke.
Grease 1-1, Overlord, Bra, 220, 18, 700, beam southeast, Warthog.
Incidentally, in keeping with tradition, where all the most interesting or funny things happen off stream, I came like that close to getting a Tomcat kill in the MiG-15 last night.
Warthog.
That close. The Strela got him before I could, because he was dumb enough to be flying at like 1,000
Ghost
fucking
1-4,
meters.
merged.
I have, yeah,
313,
3
900,
yeah, it looks
Warthog.
really, really, really good. Really good. This frame rate fucking pisses me off. Like I said, it's only when I'm streaming. When I'm not streaming in here, it's just fine. So it's probably the CPU. I kind of feel like
Joker 1-1, Overlord,
maybe when
Bra,
I either land or get
254,
shot down,
71,
I'll switch encoders and I'll
1,400,
restart the stream,
Warthog.
maybe. And we'll just see if it makes any difference. Because otherwise it's going to annoy the crap out of me. Hey, it's been so-so.
Grease 1-1. Threat.
Not great, not terrible.
204. 10. 1,300. Beam northwest. Warthog.
Well, the thing is, like, if they had more stuff offloaded to third parties, like if we had more third parties, new ones coming into the game, then it might at least give ED the opportunity to free up some resources
272. 70.
to
900.
then use for
Flank northeast.
fixing the core game.
Saber.
I know I'm dreaming here, but... Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Between devs from other sims and also just the modding community, there are plenty of people that can do it. Just a case of getting it made official.
Grease 1-1. Overlord. Raw. 329. 27. 1,100. Flag southeast. Saber.
Must be cold outside. We're climbing at 6,000 meters.
Joker 1-1. Overlord. Raw. 288. 42. 1,500. Hot. Saber.
And cold air means better performance
Ford 1-1.
for everyone,
Threat.
not just for
Raw.
us.
289. 10. 1,800. Hot. Saber.
Yeah, the A4 mod's absolutely
1-1.
fantastic.
Merged.
It's
291.
on the same level as
1,800.
third-party
Saber.
products, I think. Yes, they do. Plob, they do. So, up to 6 sparrows, or up to 4 sidewinders. So 4 and 4, or 6 and 2. I usually take 6 and 2, because I tend to put a lot of faith in the Great White Hope. The main consolation is there are like 2 good Tomcat pilots on this entire server, the rest of them are fucking monkeys, and they'll treat it like it's a big F5. They'll come down to low altitude, they'll fucking fire sparrows hopelessly out of parameter, and they will die to MiG-15s. One died to a Hind earlier. One got hit by a fucking Hind ATGM earlier, I think. And a couple have come close to getting gun killed by Hinds. So if you're worried about Tomcats, don't be, because holy shit. Curious how people play the F1? Badly. Badly.
Overlord Ghost 1-4, bogey dope.
Ghost 1-4. Overlord. Raw. 350.
It doesn't have
35,
R73s
1,800.
or ERs.
Drag north. Saber.
So the MiG-29 has the R27R, doesn't have the T, and it has R60s. So technically I guess you could call it nerf, but like the kinematics on the R27 combined with that airframe are good enough, in my opinion.
Saber.
Did you bind your speed brakes too on the Verpal? The top hat,
302.
the
800. Hot. Saber.
not the one next to the rotary, but the hat behind it, like the one that's in the same position as the air brake switch on the Warthog, just out of habit.
Farmer 1-1. Overlord. I could not find you on
Howdy
scope.
from BMS. Howdy. They just pushed another sector. Imagine my shock. 96 kilometers out from Kataisi, which means that
Overlord, Farmer 1-1,
Kashuri should be under me somewhere, so I'm gonna duck
Farmer
down.
1-1.
There's
Overlord.
Kashuri right there.
290, 18,
Actually, no, that's it there.
900.
So the road base is on the far side of town.
Joker 1-1.
I'm down here.
Merged. 293. 1000. Saber. Joker 1-1. Threat. Bra. 314. 15. 9500. Hot. Very fast. Tomcat.
Well, I mean, the MB339's no longer
Joker
supported
1-1.
as a mod because they're
Merged.
making a full-blown
312.
module out of it.
9300. Tomcat. Ford 1-1. Threat. Bra. 311. 10. 9300. Hot. Very fast. Tomcat. Ford 1-1. Merged. 302. 9300. Tomcat.
Overlord
Ghost
Circus
1-4.
1-4, buggy dope.
Bra. 320.
Time to ask for
10.
that.
1400. Beam East. Saber.
Yeah, I think after this I'll restart the stream just to change the
Circus
encoder over.
1-4. Overlord. Bra. 328. 32. 11,200. Beam northeast. Very fast. Saber. Tomcat. Ghost 1-4. Merged. 310. 900. Saber. Ford 1-1. Merged. 189. 2,100. Saber. Ghost 1-4. Merged. 296. 2,100. Saber.
You track on the playlist? This is just the synthwave playlist. Because I had that queued up from Misfizz last time. Nice to get the Hawk back. It'd be nice to get a Hawk that actually works. I would like a Hawk, but not the VEAO one. I'd like one that's actually working and supported by the devs. Overlord Circus 1-4, bogey dart.
Circus 1-4. Overlord. Raw. 298. 22. 1,100. Beam northeast. Saber.
It's probably that contact we saw there for a moment. Stuttering is doing my head in, and a stuttering on SRS too.
Circus 1-4. Threat. Raw. 305. 15. 100. Flag east. Saber.
I don't know what causes the SRS stuttering. It's not CPU or anything. I think it might be just SRS itself.
Circus 1-4. Merged.
Connection shitting out.
302. 600. Saber.
That's a 21. That's a Su-25. That's my game freezing. That's my game crashing. No connection time.
Overlord Gargoyle 1-1, bogey dope.
What the fuck, man? I've had so much trouble on Enigma server. I don't think it's my internet, because my internet's faster now than it used to be, but every day when I play an Enigma server, SRS stutters so I can't understand Overlord. I fucking lose connection as soon as I get into a fight. Like, it just gives me the shits at this point. Although I think I had a disconnect from Alpen's server the other day too, so it's not just Enigma's server. Spent 3 days learning to take off in the Spitfire. Is it really that hard? Yes and no. The hardest part of taking off in the Spitfire is not overdoing it. So that's what I was doing. IL-2 had taught me some bad habits. If you try and use the same rudder inputs you use in IL-2, in DCS, you will fucking die. DCS is much more dancing on the pedals instead of just booting the right pedal and going for it like IL-2 is. You have to actually balance the pedals with your feet and kind of gently nudge them this way or that throughout your takeoff run. You also need to be holding the stick over slightly to the right side for a Spitfire because she'll want to torque roll to the left. So as she puts more weight on the left wheel, the aircraft will veer off to the left side. What's happening with the it just despawns. It just despawns. It freezes in the air and then despawns. That's really fucking annoying. Tell you guys what I'm going to do though. I'm going to just real quick... I'm going to really quickly screenshot my OBS settings so I remember what they were on. Bear with me for a minute here. So we'll save this OBS CPU, and we'll put that, fuck, I don't know, we'll put that down there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to NVEnc, and we'll see how we go. So the stream's going to go down for about probably 2-3 minutes, guys. I will be right back.